with you.
First up, on the issue of reparations, where do you stand, sir?
Well, if this was 1865 or 1920, we could actually have a conversation about paying back those folks who provided so much free labor to this country. There is no question that slavery is a sin, but what we're not talking about today, we're not talking about slavery. What we're actually talking about, and what we should be talking about, is progress. I think what you saw today was a political show around reparations to create an atmosphere, again, in this country that I think is polarizing and divisive. What we should be talking about is a way forward that is quite inclusive. Education, making sure that every single zip code in this country has high quality education. We should be talking about the opportunity zone legislation signed by President Trump that brings back billions of dollars to the most distressed communities in America. We should be talking about criminal justice reform done by the Republican Party that will create opportunities for returning citizens to not recidivate. There are a lot of topics that we should have. I wish they'd have a hearing in the House about some of these topics and ways to move this nation forward.
But as far as
together.
the bill is concerned, Senator, do you, like many of those 2020 candidates, they have not thrown their full support behind reparations. They are throwing their support behind a bill that would study and consider reparations. Do you support that?
I don't. The subject of reparations is 100 years too old from my perspective. We should look for ways to grow our economy and give every single American a chance to compete in the greatest economy in the world.
I wonder how your party will ultimately respond, because this is emerging as a big issue, at least on the side of Democrats. It's coming up a lot, and you saw that hearing today. It got fiery at times. Mitch McConnell is being criticized for some of his remarks today.
Urgency of this conversation is simply that.
Senator, if I could just get you to respond to all of that.
Sure. First thing you have to do with Senator McConnell's comments is to bifurcate them, to separate them out. His conversation around the civil rights movement, around issues and objectives of the federal government to make up for the past sins, was a clear contrast to reparations. He suggested that there is a way forward, and this country has been evolving in the direction of progress. And as a point in fact, recognizing the progress this nation has made, we, the nation, elected President Barack Obama. That was a sign of progress. It was not to be conflated with his comments around
You can see how some saw it that way, including Cory Book. You go back to Barack Obama on this issue, and he has not thrown his support, at least publicly, behind reparations. We went back to an Atlantic interview with Barack Obama in 2016, Senator. He said this: "I have much more confidence in my ability to mobilize the American people around an investment to help every child in poverty in this country than I am in being able to mobilize the country around providing a benefit specific to African Americans as a consequence of slavery and Jim Crow." So it'll be interesting to see how he responds to now the growing debate and conversation on Capitol Hill about reparations. Final thoughts from you tonight, Senator.
Bottom line, our nation has made so many leaps forward. We should keep our focus on what actually creates progress. What we know without question creates and leads to progress: a strong, powerful education system and access to the greatest economy the world has ever known. If we could put those two together, and we did that in 2017 under our tax reform bill, there are a number of ways I would love for us to dive deep into on why America is better today than it's ever been.
Senator Tim Scott,
I'd like to give kudos to Sandra on Fox News. It may have just been subtle, but you can even tell by the subtle look on her faces during this interview that how ridiculous she even thinks that Tim Scott is. Even this Euro Gentile woman, look, I don't know if she supports cash payments, but you could tell that even she thinks that Tim Scott is ridiculous with going out here with this, I guess, position that he has, going to bat for the Republican Party. And I have no problem with him being a Republican, but this guy, I can't have any respect for him now. You can even tell that she doesn't respect this guy and how ridiculous and how foolish she looks. Now, if Euro Gentiles who can at least be maybe somewhat sensible can't take you seriously, then how are we supposed to take you seriously? Tim Scott is done.